Hello everyone, welcome to the new game of CBA where I am playing as the Chinese. We have the Aztecs. In the red we have the elite boyars from Slavs, and then we have the Malians. In the opposite side with pink we have obviously the elite cataphracts, which is not a bad unit. We have the Koreans, not bad at all, good versus archers. The Magyars, good as a meat shield, nothing else. Get raised immediately because they are in the castle age themselves. And we have the Franks. The Frank Paladins are the strongest unit in the game. Get the raises. Try to kill as many units as you can using the knights. Go to the Paladins and kill immediately. So, in this time, in this and on the request of the viewers, I will try to focus on fights more than trying to explain what is happening, but it's looking a pretty good matchup. The Chinese do very well against these Franks because the Chinese have more range than the Franks. See, the Franks have 4 range while the Chinese player have the 5 range, and the Aztecs are very strong against the Crash, that is these Magyar Hussars. Magyar Hussar is not a very strong unit. The Boyars have 130 HP, 14 plus 5, 14 plus 1 attack and 6 plus 1 armor, and you can see the Byzantines have 150 HP, they are pretty strong. Having said that, the Malians or the Gabitos have bonus damage against these units, against the pink unit, as well as these are very strong against Koreans. So should melt pretty easily, and this matchup is in our favor as long as the red player acts as a meat shield and kills this mass. On the other side, we are having a pretty good matchup. The Magyar player trying to get his raise, trying to make knights, but he will fail because although 12 attack versus a 4000 HP gate, yeah, good luck buddy. Good luck trying to get this raise. The Chinese player dominates as it is very hard to kill these Aztecs. Aztecs, generally people don't like Aztecs because a large number of civs are easily able to kill them or outrun them, and Aztecs are very slow. But having said that, they are carrying a hammer and they can punch the hell out of anyone. So looking very good on the. Let's go to the other side. You can see these Byzantines are being melted, and even though Byzantines are very strong and the Boyars are weaker than the Byzantines, but the Gabitos are very strong themselves. Mr. Bomber, which is in yellow, is doing a very good job in getting raised while killing these units, and as soon as he melts, he should be able to do a very good job. Well, the Frank player tries to get the race, but I don't think this is a good time to get the race. I think he should position himself and try to set up the Magyar player to get the race. We look at this and we see, okay, so this gate is very low HP, so the Magyar player will mass and try to get this gate. So we should protect this gate at all costs in order to not lose the game or not throw the game. While on this side, the Magyar player will melt. He will not be able to do any damage to the gate, and as you can see, 3000 HP even though he sent a lot of units over this way. On this side, the Chinese player did get too greedy and tried to attack very quickly. Now he will melt, and you can see the numbers going down very quickly. While Gabitos in themselves, if they reach Castle 8, they will be pretty unkillable themselves. And even though it's 2-1, and Byzantines, due to their 150 HP, are able to hold against Gabito. Otherwise, if they were 120 HP, they would melt like anything. And now the Reds should prioritize the gates, and the Gabitos should get the raise and try to make some units which are very productive. Here, I think the Magyar player is doing a mistake, and he should directly go for the gates and not kill the Chinese player, because the Chinese went anyways, and now he is going to get the race. I think it's pretty stupid. Why would you try to get this race when you have this gate? If you would have gotten this race, this game should have ended very differently. I don't know how this will end, but I think that was a pretty stupid mistake to get the kills. He won't be able to do anything, and I think that this player is very new to the game. Otherwise, this gate was very easy, and Franks did set it up. Now Franks honestly is getting sacrificed, and he thinks it should be should kill this gate, but he is not killing this gate, and their time window has run out. While the red player already has raced, and now it's time for the Malians to get the race. So the Malians will try to get the race. I think the Malian player should try and get the race now that the red player has the race. But I think killing the units and getting to the castle age is also not a bad option. Since you can see the Malian is so strong that he has reached the castle age even before at the second place, which tells a thing about or two about how strong the Malians is. Over at sorry, should focus over there. The red player keeps adding building, and the red player is trying to reach the castle age. Now the red player should prioritize killing as many units as he can and reach the castle age, because as soon as he reaches the castle age, he will be able to make knights, and once he is able to build knights, it's very so the knights can so what should happen once he builds knight? So these are very strong units, and the Gabito warrior as well as the red player using these Slav warriors should be able to contain this side, and the knights should zone in and attack this side. So the knights should attack this side while the Chinese as well as the blue player gets their race and start building units, start killing units, start building units, and that's how you win this game. Sorry for shifting focus. So the Magyar player did try to get these gates, and he is not able to get the gate. The Chinese player is chilling over here, and the French player, even though he
to build
gets the
a
gate,
castle, you must first advance to the next age, the castle age.
Now I would like to stress on the fact that I think it's very late for it's a very bad fight, because I think he should, but I still think the Malians will win, or even if he doesn't win, he is delaying him to get over here and avoid the pink player to get the race, which is okay I think, but he lost the villagers, which is a very bad thing. Anyways, doesn't make a lot of difference. Now, as you can see, Mr. Bomber, Dr. Bunny are in the castle age, and orange, teal and grey are in the castle age. So it is pretty late for Magyar player to get the race, because even if he gets the race, he won't be able to do much with it. I mean, it's just about a matter of time before the Malian player gets the race and shreds everyone into pieces, tries to wall up everything. We have lost just one gate, as you can see, and so like looking pretty good for our team. We dominate. I think we should be able to dominate, even if one player starts pumping out things. I should be good. This is a very red player is not playing as per my expectations, but he's doing a very good job protecting the Malian player. If he's just trying to move. I think now it's the time for the Chinese player to prioritize to get the gates, and he's doing so. While blue acts as a meat shield, I think it's a pretty good time to get this 4000 XP gate. The Chinese do only need one race for them to be able to build. I will show what the Chinese can do, but now, good try buddy, but you won't be able to take the gates because the Malians have a bonus damage against cavalry units. I think this was out of position. So what should have Koreans done? Koreans should have come over here, tried to kill the Malians, and the Byzantine player should have acted as a meat shield from these red players, hence killing these. If I were to if the same number of units of pink as well as orange were to fight, I think I would have preferred Koreans to win over Malians than this, hence my choice. While on the other side, I think we are able to get these raises quickly. I think the Aztec player got the raise of the Chinese over here, and I think the Korean is doing the right thing to come over here because the Koreans have a bonus damage against the archers. But seeing that Koreans over here, red player immediately rushes and kills him, which was signaled by Dr. Bunny, which was a big good thing to do. And now I think the Chinese player is doing the right thing to kill these units. And once he clears out this mass and this mass engages over here, he will be going to the gates and doing the damage. While I don't know what the Malian player is doing right now, I think he's trying to mass, and once he masses, he should be able to take this engagement and clear out all this. Blue says to the green, and since green is actually in the castle age, I think it's fair enough that green should take the race, and now green does take the race. You see, the red player, these 3 units, is doing nothing, but it's preventing the Korean player to attack the Chinese player. If the Korean player would have patrolled over here and trying to attack, I would have never able to get these raises. And once I get the raises, I make as many archery ranges as possible. Why do I make archery ranges? Well, let's try to pause the game and look at it. I am trying to make archery ranges because I fire a lot faster. I do fire a lot faster. The arbalest training time, although we do have all the upgrades for archery line. We have the arbalests, which are pretty strong. We have the heavy cavalry archer, although I don't have Parthian tactics. So since we don't have Parthian tactics, I would rather stick to arbalests, which are pretty strong in themselves. And if I need a meat shield or a melee support, I think going to heavy camels is a play. And as I explained in the last videos, going for champions and halberdiers is a pretty bad play because they are very slow. We want a pretty fast unit, and soon we'll try to add siege and kill down the tower, kill down the castles. Now Chinese player in the castle age is pretty strong and should be able to take the mass from this. And while I am building my archery ranges, I am also trying to defend these gates and trying to keep these 2 players at bay, particularly the French player, because if the French player gets the race, gets critical mass of units, he will be able to take my gate, which is this one, and then stream in paladins, and now that I won't be able to compete with it, even though I get heavy camel. So far we have done a very good job keeping these units at bay, and one player has the races, should be able to do very well. Now while so let's pause over here. So what's the good now? Once let's say you are here and now you have villagers, you see that red is not playing so well, so he has villagers. He is as good as not having these villagers. So one player has villager and while other person is doing it. So what should you do in this situation to not throw the game? You see that other players have not got raises. None of the 4 players have the raises. So what you should do? So what you should do is try to patrol your your units while you make your ranges, and try to keep these units at bay so that they don't get the raises. You should try and avoid those raises using the castle age and upgrade your units at the obviously at the blacksmith, as well as try to get university tech and the castle techs. Also the other team should do that. Plus, if you think that the opposite team is able to kill castles, let's say this was not Magyars but Huns, and he is able to run in and kill your villagers as well as take down the castle one by one very quickly. So instead of making these ranges, try to wall yourself up and try to wall the weakest link, and send the units, instead of sending those units over here to the Huns player, try to send the units to the weakest player. If I have to say which is the weakest unit, I would say the Malian player is the weakest unit, because although it's a very strong unit, but they have a very low melee armor, and if Pink tries to run in, he can clear out these Malians very quickly, and then the Hans player can maybe rush this, so try to wall him first instead of making these units. But since we are dominating on this side as well as that side, no one walls and tries to make archery ranges as soon as possible. Doesn't really matter how many units we lose as soon as we are not giving them raises. I mean, trying to keep this battle at bay, pretty fun. I think we should be, and since we have the blue meat shield, not too bad at all. On that side, I don't know what would be the best thing to do in this situation for blue. Maybe pink. So whoever is in Imperial Age, which is orange, should try to get the raises. So blue should prioritize getting raises before kill, but he's not doing so, which means he's new. Pink player is trying to get the raise. I think what they should do is talk to sounds through. All the 4 players should go to the 1 player and try to kill the weakest player over there. Try to get raises, wall themselves up, wall their weakest player in, and do some damage. But I think it's too late. Our team is well enough, and even though red is not acting like he should, making pikemen which is not an ideal unit, but he's making a unit, and it should act as a meat shield while our green player and other get the mass. As you can see, it's not so the green player walls, and now start pumping out the archery ranges. Not bad played, not very bad played by me. We have the archery ranges and we have the stables. Why do we have the stables? We have the stables because the archers will be wiped by the elite war wagons, and we need camels to deal damage to the elite Magyars as well as the Koreans. So I think placing more stables than archery ranges is a good play. Although I don't know why this is something ideal which is put to work now. The Koreans is doing the right thing, trying to get the race because he's in Imperial race, but I think too late. They are trying to get the race, but it's too late. They should have tried this 10 minutes ago. I mean, sorry, 5 minutes ago. Okay, so we have the lizards warping, and now I think that he should wall up his base because we have the killer army. But the camels from Malian, okay, that's a very good choice. Making camels, killing Byzantine won't stand a chance against the camels. And I think this side is done for. And as soon as the green starts to get the mass for cavalcers, I think it's GG. I mean, for mobility, I am trying to make cavalry archers, although we don't have any Parthian tactics, which is fine because the heavy camels are very strong in this situation. But ideally you should make arbalets and not cavalry archers. Let's see the battle. And it's a matter of time before he dies. Malians at the back should take them by themselves, and as soon as the camel mass comes, all of these units will be killed, and then these rams will push either one. So again, that the pink player resigns. I mean, he can't even take the frustration of this game, which is fair enough. And why waste time when you know you're going to lose? And now the blue player also trying to get his race. Once he gets this race, blue is also Imperial Age. He should be able to build infantry or maybe archers, whatever he suits like building. More archery ranges, more camels coming in. Camels doing the work here. See, camels melt these because camels have bonus damage against them. And elite war wagon, although they have 200 HP, they are very weak. The other units like camels have bonus damage against them and they melt them. I mean, the Malians very easily melt these war wagons, and if it was let's say Saracens, they won't even survive. I mean, Saracens versus elite war wagon is a very bad matchup. I mean, there is no way we can lose. It's 2v4. I mean, until there is a drop and a very big battle. Although you can clearly see there is no way that the team can win. build as many archery ranges as you want. There is no way. I think the camels now should run over here towards the castle and try to kill that castle. Try to break the spawn of these units by attacking the front of the castle as well as the sides of the castle and taking this castle. So it's pretty much GG. I mean, there's nothing else to be said. The cab archers are mine to throw. I mean, they don't have numbering, but it gives the Frank players to get raises, and it doesn't matter how many kills I give him. Even though I give him 1000, 10,000 kills, it doesn't matter. We have already won. Now we'll build outside our bases, we'll spawn in the units, and I think pretty much, I mean, should be able to toss in rams to kill this. We do get siege rams, so these castles should melt. I mean, very easy. I think this is done for. I mean, just units attacking the castle. There is no way. I mean, Orange can do anything about it, so I don't think we should focus on here. We should focus on there. So I send in to make ram, get the capped ram as well as the siege ram upgrade. Because archers, although however strong they are, they can't take buildings. I mean, look at that, 7,000 HP. It will kill my unit 3 times over before taking out one castle. This is not a very. Meanwhile, we have deleted French, and if the teal player doesn't want to resign, it's his problem, not ours. He finally resigns, and we have GG. So very simple game. However, we can see that strategies and the only win condition for them was try to prioritize race, and I think they lost the game when the Magyar player having race over here did not take the race. Let's look at the KD and analyze. So yellow should have a great KD. I mean, he was very OP, and I think the red player who was acting as a mid shield should not have a bad KD. Before I show you the KD, the Chinese player should have a very good KD. However, the blue player who was as Aztec should not have as good as a KD. So as you can see, the blue player who was acting as a mid shield in my side, on Dr. Bunny's side, is having a very bad KD. However, that is offset by Chinese player who has a very good KD. I mean, it's a very fairly good KD. The blue player, see, 1000 kills for 500 deaths, which is a extremely good KD. The teal although has a good KD, but did not matter at the end. The pink player, which was Byzantines, just melted because of the Malians. And as said, the grey player, which was in our case Magyars, is such a poor unit. 3:1 KD almost. I mean, very bad. Orange did fairly well because that was not a mid shield. So you can guess who wins the game in the starting of the game, as I did. And I'll see you in the next video. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comments below, or maybe on the live stream if I have one. Enjoy.